Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fearless Gray Live. I am so excited. We have a new first-time guest who will be joining us often. Her name is Deb Mundy. Did I pronounce it right, first of all? Excellent.
Got it.
Okay, so Deb and I met over Instagram. I found her, I don't know who found who first. We started following each other, and I was looking through her feed. I'm like, I love her. We see the world the same. And she's done many great things like in her life, but even after 50 in her Fearless Gray years. And so, Deb, why don't you just take a few minutes and tell us about who you are, because we're going to get to know each other over the long time, but I'd like to give our guest a little brief preview.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited about being your friend and being able to share myself with your friends and just talk around the water cooler with each other and make new friends, right? So this is my 60th year. I turned 60 in less than a month, which is crazy. And yeah, and I'm, so I guess I'm always reinventing myself. I've had probably 8 different careers doing 8 different things. And my passions are nutrition. And that happened because of health challenges that my daughter was born with. You know how life sometimes throws unexpected things at you. When I say when I was pregnant, I was like, couldn't boil water. I was living on Diet Cokes and nabs, literally, because I had a job that I was at 12 hours a day. And, I was young. I was in my 30s and never took the time to learn how to, do anything nutritionally good for myself. But, so yeah, that was a major, huge shift in my life like that. And it carried through to my 60th year. Like it was a major, corner turn because of her health challenges. We know what they did for us for our next 25 years and on. And then also have some just major, I'm a major cheerleader and advocate for women over 50, just because I think it is underserved. That's an underserved, an underserved set of people. I don't know what glamorous way to say that, but I just think we're underserved. I think that, there's a lot of people not paying attention to us. And I think that there's so much power in this age group, in this, gender. And I know there is, because we have done so many things in our lives, and most of it's been for other people, not ourselves. And, to channel, to have the opportunity in your life where you got some maybe extra time, extra money, freedom, maybe not. If not, we can address that certainly. And then, what do you do with it? How do you fill it up? And so I'm very passionate about helping women with that. Since I've, reinvented myself 10 times, I'm all about helping, women reinvent themselves and refine their passion or find their passion or whatever, whatever stage they're in for that.
One second, I'm playing with our little live. A couple of things that you said hit so close to home. One, I really appreciate how when we take a life challenge, like your daughter's health issues, and I've talked about, I have a daughter with type 1, and I didn't go to the same extremes as super complete healthy eating, but it really changed the way we ate as a family, and we were much healthier. So taking a thing that happens in your life, and as opposed to what was me, owning it and changing your life for the better for yourself and the people in your family. And I really love that you're an advocate for the Fearless Gray age too, because what I really your spark and your energy really just shows through. Even like I said, even just in your Instagram post, but your challenge of taking what we've learned through our life, the good, the bad, the ugly, and making ourselves a better person. Or maybe that's not quite the right word, but just what's the right word? I don't know. I can't think of a better word than better, but making us maybe more engaged and involved, and we just know what we want. And I agree with you. We really want women over 50 to pursue things, to just not coast. That's my latest thing, is no coasting, keep flying. So you told us about your one passion. Tell us about another one of your passions, which we'll be talking about over time.
So I had this other passion that kind of snuck up on me, meaning that, so the backstory is that my mother, starts back to our origin story, right, was a professional tailor. And so I was one of those kids that was born in the late 50s. Obviously, I already told you I'm 60, so you know that. You do the math. And so back in the day, people made their clothes. And, my mother always made her clothes. She did it because she had to, because they were poor. And she didn't have a choice, and it was cheaper back then to make your own clothes. It's not now, but then it was. And she became a professional tailor because she wanted a way to make money. So she would literally make suits like that level and coats and that kind of thing, for individuals that had the money to, pay her to do that. And so consequently, I learned how to sew when I was really young, like 8 or 9 years old. And I was making coats and all my clothes, and, I was that kid at school, but, I no one knew. Everybody was jealous of me. Everybody like wanted to come to my closet and borrow my clothes because they were just like so different. I'd go to the Vogue patterns, and we'd be making Vogue so it was like different looking stuff. And I just had an early appreciation, not because we had money. That wasn't it. It was because we had creativity, ingenuity, and we were willing to like work to like look really good, even though we didn't have money, right? So So then I left that behind, became a professional, worked at Lehman Brothers, was on Wall Street, like totally left all that behind. Got into nutrition, made that a business. And then lo and behold, I have this 17-year-old son who is by some standards, like, pretty good looking. And I have a husband who's retired and used to be a fashion photographer for Wilhelmina in New York back in the day, right? When she was still around. And so that combination, my husband's like, I want to get back into photography. So he started shooting my son, and we started putting together a little portfolio for him. And then he started shooting for some other friends of ours, kids, and 2 of them got picked up by like major agencies. And so because of that, I'm like really way deep into fashion because, I'm styling them, and that's helped, me take my stuff up to, a notch as well. So, I mean, it's a love. I can't deny it, even though like, yeah, it's a love. And,
no denying.
I want to go, is that shallow? Like, why do I care so much? It's like, it is me, I mean.
But, I have a thought on that. A friend of mine talked about this a while ago. And I think like, so my mom and dad, like they dress really nice still. And it's not expensive. Like my mom often buys stuff like, oh, I got it at Shopko, which is like, like it's really really reasonable place thing. But I think the way you can't deny that if you take care of yourself on the inside, you kind of feel better on the inside, and I think that's okay. Like I think in like, so one example I have is this is when I was in the middle of my divorce cave. I like walked around the house, my hair in a ponytail, no makeup, sweatshirt, sweatpants, and it really was a reflection of how I felt. And finally one day one of my daughters goes, Mom, you need to get your shit together. And she was so right. And so I started, I just started like putting on makeup and doing my hair just because, and I started to feel better. And so I think it's okay I don't think it's shallow or that. I think it's kind of a reflection it can be a reflection of how we feel about ourselves, but it can also like spur you out of like a rough place. When I started doing my hair and makeup, it kind of like boosted my spirits.
It's kind of like a fake it till you make it thing, like on a outside level,
Yeah.
And also I just think that, it's a big part of it because it could be a form of self-care.
Mm-hmm.
Like learning a new way to wear eyeshadow, because what 50-year-old has not forgotten and feel like they don't look great in eyeshadow because hello, my eyebrows are now at my eyelashes. How do I put shadow on that, right? I don't want to bring attention to that, right? But there are ways and there are things you can do like to rock it. So, and what's cool is that all those ways are so accessible to us now. Like there's a learning academy, like anything you want to learn, it's all like right in your hand in your phone. And that to me is one of the most exciting things about when we're living right now, is that you can totally learn about anything you want to learn about.
It keeps you younger, doesn't it? I really didn't think about the ability to have everything on your phone, or just like me, like we met, it's just different. And it's really a blessing.
In a lifetime, you and I would never meet. I'm in Virginia Beach. Right. You're in
Wisconsin.
I know where you are. You're in Wisconsin. We would never meet in a million years.
Right.
And here we are, like doing this. This tech thing together? I don't know.
I know. I feel like we could talk for 45 minutes. We'll keep it brief because we try to do 15, but it changes. And I actually think like this technology changes because I think a lot of people get lonely in like their fearless gray years because it's hard to connect sometimes. Your kids leave the house, the friend you all saw. Which 2 things. One thing I really love that you started a business then because it puts you on the community, meeting new people, but also like you can make communities on the internet and not necessarily have to see people, but feel like cared about and connected and things like that.
So I remember, I'm going to say this on that subject. So I remember back in the day when I first started trying like to elevate my life to the next level, like, you know, you become like the people you hang around. And when I heard that, I was like, I'm hanging around the wrong 5 people because I don't want this kind of bank account and I don't want this kind of lifestyle. I don't want these kind of problems. Right. So I didn't know anybody who was different. And I started meeting them in books, because that was the only way I knew to do that. So I started like reading, like if somebody I liked and admired, I'd read their, you know, what they had to say, like, so it could help start changing my mind and helping me think like them. Right. So along the way, it's another story. I actually met some of those people. They actually did become my friends, which is kind of wild. But my point about the times we have now is that we not only can read their words, we can see them like this. You know, we can like intuit their body language. We can like get to know them on such a more deeper level and learn from them on such a more deeper level. And how cool is that?
Yeah. And I think then their words too can really like stick with us too when you're seeing them, like, and maybe like afterward we can wrap up with you sharing maybe one of the books if it'll come to mind. I know with me, books don't always come to mind when I'm like in the middle.
Right.
So what's our show going to be about? We're going to meet twice a month. And go ahead.
And we decided we were going to stay in our lane, and I'd like to see our lanes merge and not collide is the wrong word, but to merge our lanes, because you know, I'm all about nutrition. I'm all about fashion and just taking yourself up to the next level. You know, whether that's how you think or how you look or how you feel. You know, all based on, you know, things that I love and are passionate about. And then you have just like evolved and come out of a really dark place. And I work with a lot of women like that in terms of, you know, the kind of advice that your sweet daughter gave you. Like, you know, sometimes we just need that kick in the pants. We need that girlfriend, or we need that daughter or that mom who says, what are you doing? You know, to help us see our, you know, look in the mirror and see the, you know, the unattractive top knot that we could rock when we're 25. Maybe not when we're,
I know.
Right?
That's a big, big face.
Exactly. So, you know, I want to, like, I so admire the fact that you've come out of that, and not just come out of it, but become a leader to other women in that, you know, in those same circumstances, and, you know, to bring encouragement and hope. And, I
think all the challenge we have in life, like even like with my daughter with type 1, or maybe your daughter, and just all the things that happen that when you're in them, you don't see the way out, but you hear other people, like anytime I tell someone, oh, I'm getting a divorce, like, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. I'm like, really? It doesn't feel like it. And like, you know, as I step forward more and more, I'm like, it'll be okay. Okay. So then in 2 weeks, we're going to do probably a nutrition one before the holidays, right before Thanksgiving and that. And then we're going to do maybe some wedding tips for me, like, I don't know, maybe hair or makeup, whatever you think. I'll take some tips for you. So my dress, I'll give you a little, it's like a neutral undertone with like black velvet. And the girls are wearing like cranberry. So we can think about that.
Nice.
All right. Well, we'll wrap up today. Thank you. I'm so excited about our show together. I'm going to put a link for your information for your Facebook and your Instagram. And I really encourage you guys to follow Deb. She's just a positive light in this world.
Awesome. Thank you, Jen.
Thanks. All right. We'll see everyone later. Bye-bye. Flock on. There we go.